Imagine two people. One is extremely good looking, sharp jawline, perfect body, confident style. The other is average. Nothing special about their looks. Now, here's the interesting part. Psychology research shows that when people learn how these two individuals treat others, something strange happens. The average-looking person suddenly becomes more attractive, and sometimes even more attractive than the good-looking one. Why? Because human attraction isn't just about appearance. In fact, one psychological trait has been shown again and again in studies to dramatically increase attractiveness. It can make people overlook physical flaws, it can make strangers trust you faster, and it can even predict dating success over time. But here's the twist. Most people completely misunderstand this trait. Some people try to use it and fail miserably. Others do it in a way that actually makes them less attractive. So in this video, we'll break down the psychological trait that increases attraction, the science behind why humans respond to it, the 3 types of altruism that change how attractive you appear, and the exact reasons some nice people fail in dating. By the end of this video, you'll understand one of the most powerful psychological signals of attractiveness, and why the people who understand it often end up with the strongest relationships. Let's start with a fascinating psychology experiment. Researchers did something simple. They showed participants pictures of different people, and they asked one question: how attractive would this person be to date? People rated the photos normally, but then the researchers did something interesting. They told participants a short story about each person in the photo. For example, one of the people in the picture had brought lunch to school. Another student had forgotten their food. Instead of eating everything themselves, this person shared their lunch. Another story. A group of friends were drinking and trying to pressure someone into drinking alcohol. One person stepped in and said, "Leave them alone. They already said they don't want to." Another story. A girl needed to walk home late at night. It was raining heavily. One guy offered to walk her home safely, even though it meant getting home much later himself. And another person volunteered regularly at a local food bank to help families struggling financially. Now here's where it gets interesting. After hearing these stories, participants rated the same people as significantly more attractive. Nothing about their looks changed, only the information about their behavior changed. Yet people suddenly perceived them as more desirable partners. Why? Because those behaviors revealed something deeper, a psychological trait called altruism. Altruism is the tendency to help others without expecting something in return. It includes traits like kindness, generosity, fairness, empathy, helpfulness. And across cultures, studies consistently show something fascinating. People who score high in altruism are rated as more attractive dating partners. Not just slightly more attractive, significantly more attractive. But the reason this works goes much deeper than simple kindness. From an evolutionary perspective, humans are constantly evaluating potential partners. And we're not just asking, are they attractive? We're also asking questions like, would this person treat me well? Would they support me in difficult times? Could they be a reliable partner? Would they be a good parent? Altruistic behavior signals something powerful. It signals character. It shows that a person is capable of caring about someone other than themselves. And that's incredibly valuable in long-term relationships. In fact, some studies found that many people prefer an average-looking but kind partner over an attractive but selfish one. But the psychology gets even more interesting because altruism doesn't just affect personality ratings, it actually affects how attractive someone physically appears. A recent study discovered something fascinating. When participants learned that someone behaved altruistically, they literally perceived that person's face as more attractive. Yes, their brain processed the person as better looking, even though the picture never changed. Researchers believe this happens because the brain combines multiple signals when evaluating attractiveness. Physical features matter, but so do behavioral cues. When someone demonstrates kindness, generosity, and fairness, Your brain interprets those traits as indicators of a high-value partner, and your perception adjusts accordingly. Even small physical flaws become less noticeable. Scars, crooked teeth, minor imperfections, they simply stop standing out as much. But before you think the solution is simply just be nice to everyone. There's a huge mistake many people make because not all kindness is attractive. In fact, some forms of altruism can actually make people less attracted to you. You've probably heard someone say this before. I'm a nice guy, but girls always choose jerks. Or I'm nice to everyone, but people still don't like me. At first glance, this seems to contradict the research. If kindness increases attractiveness, why do some nice people struggle so much? The answer is simple. Because what they're displaying is not attractive altruism. Psychologists have identified that altruism only increases attraction when it has three specific qualities. Without these qualities, kindness can backfire. Let's break them down. The first rule is balance. Helping others must cost something, but not everything. In one study, participants watched a video of a man withdrawing money from an ATM. He withdrew £30. In one version of the video, he donated £1. In another version, he donated all £30. Interestingly, people found the man more attractive when he donated a meaningful portion, but when he gave away everything, his attractiveness dropped. Why? Because extreme self-sacrifice can signal something negative. It can make someone seem irresponsible, naive, or easily exploited. Attractive altruism means you help others, but you also respect your own boundaries. The second rule is consistency. Real altruism shows up regularly, not just when people are watching. Many people perform kindness only in big, dramatic moments, grand gestures, public displays. But humans are very good at detecting authenticity. What truly builds attraction is small, consistent behaviors, being respectful to strangers, being supportive to friends, helping people when it's inconvenient. Over time, these repeated behaviors signal something important. This isn't an act, it's who you actually are. The third rule is authenticity. People are not attracted to the behavior itself. They are attracted to the motive behind the behavior. If kindness looks strategic, manipulative, or done purely for approval, it immediately loses its value. That's why performative generosity often feels fake, and why narcissistic individuals sometimes engage in public acts of kindness, but rarely display those behaviors in private. Attractive altruism comes from genuine values. You help others because that's the type of person you are, not because you expect something in return. At the end of the day, attraction isn't just about looks. It's about the signals we send through our behavior. Altruism tells people something powerful about you, that you're capable of empathy, that you care about others, that you can be trusted. And when that altruism is balanced, consistent, and genuine, it becomes one of the strongest psychological signals of attractiveness, not just for dating, but for relationships that actually last. Because the people who live this way don't just become more attractive to others, they also develop something even more powerful, a deeper sense of self-respect and the kind of character that makes people want to stay in their lives.